I think we do have change too. If you need change. Oh, never mind. You're on the money. Perfect. There you go. Thank you.
Man, I watch you all the time on YouTube and shit.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. It's a lot of fun to make, so I'm glad you enjoy it.
All right, man. Good luck, dude.
Thank you. It's a pain. They suck. Just like that. Here, I'll hand you one side. You front. Yeah, there you go. Meet me. Money. Just like that, mijo. You grab the block out of the front or the right side? Yeah, on the right. Thank you.
What do you think about that? Drawing for Joey?
What? No, I'm not drawing for anybody.
Okay.
I'm asking Brad if I can have one
No,
of
what's
these.
the whole detail?
Drop it.
Some money for Caleb.
Money for Caleb. You guys.
I'm gonna put it on my personal
Dude.
car.
Is that what you want?
No, you didn't even give me a chance
I
to
know.
guess.
That's on my. That's
I
on
like
me.
to guess. That's okay. There was a 3 in it though, so
Yeah.
at least we're consistent.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll see you next week.
How many cars we got tonight?
40.
No, it's okay.
So where's that? You think that could put me like at the front of the second split,
So
or?
we
Enjoy your night.
that seated
Good luck
split
to you.
that we were doing.
Oh.
So that's your group, and then whoever draws the lowest, that group becomes A or B. So you could even be an A with 39.
Really?
So you'll be in like the middle of because you're only
Wherever
drawing
it was.
those cars. Yeah.
How do you guys do that? Like
It's just by
even?
yeah, to try and not have the best 30 cars in one group and load them up.
Okay.
It was working for you in Arizona. We did
Yeah.
it down there too.
Oh hell yeah! Perfect. And I think it's the 5th one. Yeah.
Have you been there?
Get a franchise.
We're gonna buy out the 14.
Okay.
So see you in Vegas.
Perfect. Okay. Post it now, Brady.
And how it works is Danny and I are gonna put up most of the money, but we get to keep all your merch money.
Gotcha. I see. That's fair.
Dude, I offered him a ride for Turkey Night non-wing, and all he has to do is let me keep all the merch money.
Are you gonna make a non-wing shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He'd be giving up a lot of money.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another video today on a Wednesday, and I think this is the video that most of you actually wanted to watch, so hopefully Wednesday at 3:30 is a good time for it, and let's hop into qualifying. So Robert, you guys heard him, he told me to just bomb the middle, and we had been talking the whole entire qualifying session after Tanner blew it off in 1 and 2, we thought it was going to be the middle. So the first lap I kind of entered a little bit shallow and I didn't enter up high enough. So on my second lap here, I'm going to try and enter up as high as I possibly can, and I actually kind of got up the wall a little bit, and it gives you a good arc down into the corner. And then same thing as into 3 and 4, you can kind of ramp up the banking and use it I guess like a skateboard half pipe. Like you can kind of ramp up it, or if you ever guys watch guys like get up on the wall and go really fast, you can kind of do that at Pville and get your right rear up on it and just create speed and then shoot yourself across the middle and just keep your momentum up instead of having to run the top. And as you guys can see, I was pretty amped up after that. I saw my number go up to the second. I was like, oh hell yeah, baby, let's get it. So now for this heat race, my thoughts for this heat race were pretty much just protect. Like there was nothing special to it. We left the car loose so that way I could just kind of rotate and go wherever I wanted. I still had my wing and my shock, and yeah, we just wanted to finish in 5th. It wasn't a big task at hand, so we just knew as long as we finished in 5th, we were going to be fine and get a little bit of data on the car and move forward into the dash. And the dash was going to be another spot to really fine-tune the car for the feature. And right here, we kind of pushed Corey all the way up to get a good arc onto the corner, and I feel like that was a really good executed start. And from there, just bomb the absolute shit out of the slider line and get right back up to getting the momentum up on the ramp in 3 and 4. I feel like the ramp in 3 and 4 when the track's like this is a really big asset, and it just helps you keep your low speed up pretty much as like a F1 term. I feel like that's a good way to talk about Pville, is if you can keep your minimum speed high and still have exit grip. I think that's the big thing here. In this dash, I'm really trying to figure out where I can get away with driving it hard, driving it softer, where my entry points need to be. And the bottom still had quite a bit of grip, and you could bomb it off in there since I was the leader and just keep your minimum speed up and let it flow all the way up to the ramp and then ramp yourself in the cup and shoot across the middle of 3 and 4. And I feel like that line is I like funky lines at racetracks. Like, I really enjoy... Sorry, my mic cut out there for a second, but I really like it when Pville's like this. I don't know where I was going with that, so I lost my train of thought. But yeah, we're just logging some laps in the dash, really just trying to feel out the car and see where it could be better. Maybe if I need a little bit more right rear stick on entry, because we know the track's going to go away. And a big thing that we learned at Tulare was we needed to be there at the end of the race, and instead of just there in the beginning. I feel like in the beginning at Tulare, my car was at the top of its game. It was gripped up, it was running really awesome. I could run it as hard as I possibly could, and as the track progressed and got slicker, then that's when I started to have issues, and it was harder to hit my lines and just be consistent. So we applied that from Placerville, or from Tulare to Placerville, and honestly it made it really good. We were even a little snug in the dash, but I went ahead and talked a few things over with Robert, and we were just going to try and honestly just progress the base and the balance. Like, the balance was already there, we were fast, but let's just take it the next step and keep the car headed in the same direction without hurting something, like putting on a different cartridge left rear, kind of changing a bar. Like, we didn't really want to do any of that because the base was there. But here's some nice kind words with Tony.
It's just you and who else is the team usually? Michael Pombo?
Michael Pombo, Robert, and my family and my girlfriend.
Michael Pombo, Robert.
Michael Pombo and Robert.
What's Robert's last name?
Solomon.
Okay, Michael Pombo, Robert Solomon, and your family.
Yep.
Okay.
My girlfriend.
Stevie?
Yep, she's on the road.
Got it.
Thanks, bud.
It's the feature we've all been waiting for, and the start that made me anxious as ever. Thank you to Kevin for helping me manage my thoughts in these situations. But yeah, I learned a lot about myself here at Pville, and I feel like we executed a pretty darn good race all the way up until the last couple of laps. And I definitely know what I could have done better, but as for going into the first parts of this race, I was pretty calm. I knew that as long as I did what I did in the dash, we had a good race car. I started my wing back the same amount that I had. I opened up my right front a little bit more. We made a couple adjustments, and on the warm-up lap, I was like, oh yeah, let's just focus on the start and get out in the lead was pretty much our main priority, and we did that on all of our restarts, which was a big success and a big aid, honestly, for keeping the lead for so long. But this whole entire time, I'm logging laps, I'm trying to feel out the car, and the car is really good. Like, I have a bunch of right rear stick in the entry of the corner to where I can kind of enter harder and just keep my minimum speed up and even skate across the middle. Like, I noticed that the bottom was getting a little slick, so I just started to open up my entry a little bit. Instead of running around in the slick and trying to force my car to be around the bottom, I just ran a lane above it because my car was still getting gripped. There was bumps and holes, and I felt like if I just bombed it off in there and opened up my entry as much as possible, my race car felt amazing. So, and the same goes for 3 and 4, but pretty much I'm staring down the barrel of get screwed right now. and there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm watching these guys, and I'm just like, all right, let's just still make our car as wide as possible. I'm gonna have to go all the way up on the straightaways, all the way down on the corners, and make it really hard for somebody to pass me on the top until I can find just a clear, evident way to go through. And I started running the middle in hopes that maybe, you know, if somebody was behind me, that it was gonna still be really hard to pass me, but maybe Dom could slip up. And yeah, we kind of chopped it on Corey Snouton, but that's what I meant, is making my car as wide as possible. Like, I wanted it to be hard to pass me, and Corey probably just cooked it off in there and thought I was gonna run the middle, and I didn't. And yeah, that's just racing sometimes. I do feel bad for getting into Corey right there. Sorry, Mijo, if you're watching, but yeah, it's racing. I know I'll probably do it to somebody in the future, and stuff like that just happens. But same thing on the restarts. Just execute that start, look for the apex, and just go for it. Trust your intuition. And we're pretty much back on the same path, but I looked at my wing under that yellow. I was like, okay, we can get it back a little bit more. I know what I'm feeling. I know what I need to adjust. And then we also opened up the right front shock a little bit more, because I could notice that 3 and 4 is starting to get slick. And I feel like the combination between my wing and the right front shock, it really helps me with my balance, because with the wing I can really plug the thing, and the further I get it back, the more my right rear stick is on entry, and the harder I feel like I can drive it and get to the line I need to be in. But depending on how much momentum I'm keeping or what kind of line I'm running, I can dial myself in with my right front shock. Like, if I'm up against a curb, I can try and tie it down. And I don't know why it works the way it works, but whenever I tie down my right front, I feel really comfy up against a cushion. And also vice versa. If I'm running momentum or kitty getting bottom or whatever it may be, I haven't tied down my right front in a while, but I opened that bad boy up a lot. Like at this race, I had it open to 20 pounds for those of you that know shocks. Like, I pretty much had that right front shock non-existent for this feature. Under one of the reds, I twisted that knob as much as I possibly could, and it was good. And I'm just, same thing, just logging laps, being consistent. Right now, I'm getting a little, like, I'm thinking a little bit too much, I feel like, because I got all those guys in front of me. I know that my car's wide, so I'm just trying to think about what's happening behind me. Not necessarily what's behind me, but where can I be better, because my middle line in 1 and 2 is really starting to go away. And I wondered if the bottom was good, if I could just open it up and stay in the grip, and the grip was still there pretty decent on the exit. Like, as long as I hit the apex right in the middle and then let it float and not crowd myself and just make myself stay on the berm, it was still a lot of momentum to be had on the racetrack running those lines. But thank God we got all these yellows when we did. Honestly, those were a saving grace. Trying to pass those lap cars would have been difficult, so I'm very lucky. But one thing I did notice under all those yellows was just how slick the track was getting in 3 and 4, and I definitely learned a lot. Oh yeah, here's some clips. Morgan got me some clips also, and I wanted to see these, so I kind of threw them in, and I feel like that gives you a good outside perspective of how decent my restarts actually were. But I noticed, and for next time into the future, if P-ville starts to get slick like this, if I'm in this position where I don't know someone's running the top, just slide up all the way to the cushion. If I'm running the middle line, and if I'm just logging laps like I am, you don't have to blast the curb. Just keep your momentum up. You don't have to blast it all the way around or whatever it may be, especially since I'm still running the bottom in 1 and 2. I felt amazing the whole entire night on the bottom and middle of 1 and 2. I never really felt like my race car needed anything at all down there. And 3 and 4 was where I felt like I was losing pace the whole entire time. And I feel like moving forward, whenever I feel like I'm losing pace, it's also, it's a hard balance. I mean, because at Chico in the B main of Gold Cup the final night, I was trying to move up, and I shouldn't have moved up. I did, and I ended up losing a lot of spots because on the first restart I got a really good start, and I snuck underneath the first 2 rows because the guys missed the bottom, and I was in a really good position. And then the yellow came out, and then I didn't get a good restart, didn't get by Tanner, and then I was racing with Andy, and Andy blasted around me on the top. So I said screw it and went up to the top, and I was just not good, blew it off the edge because I drove it too hard. And yeah, I feel like that's a product of doing that. And after I blew it off the edge, driving it too hard, I figured out that the bottom was actually the place to be, and I ran the bottom, and I was like, oh, it was just greasy in the beginning. So yeah, kind of sucks, but oh well, what are you going to do? I kind of learned from it, and I guess the sweetest fruit is always out on the edge of the limb, so I'm always going to go for it. If it feels right, I'm just going to say screw it. And in this situation, my protectiveness got the best of me, and yeah, that's what happens. It just sucks how it goes sometimes, but you know what? We're going to keep on learning from these situations and just keep on getting better. That's all that we can do. But off of my little rant right there, now it's time for the last couple of laps that are heartbreaking, but really, honestly, I'm happy with how it all went. But same thing, I know I have to execute this restart. I have to get the apex right, be coming, driving off the corner, get around the cone perfectly, and just keep my low speed up. And my car felt great here in these closing laps, where I could just open it up as much as I needed to be and hit the center of 1 and 2 and let it flow all the way back up to the wall and just keep my speed up. You lose a lot of speed at Placerville running in the back with people because you tend to pull huggy choo-choo the bottom, where you shut it down and run train tracks around the bottom, pretty much is how I like to think about it. And that is slow. It sucks because sometimes the track is that slick and you got to run it like that, but ideally you want to have your car good enough to where you can run these momentum lines that I'm trying to run. And there's a really close call with Justin. Thanks for not running into me right there, Justin. He actually ran me really clean this whole race, which was really cool. I know a lot of people aren't Justin fans, but I'm a big Justin fan. It was cool to be a factor in his first high limit win. And now we know, hey, he's there. So let's just, I feel like I'm just trying to log laps and not let it get the best of me, because it's not like he's doing anything crazy and driving by me or like I'm losing speed. I'm running a good blocker line right now. And this was like okay, let's go. And I drove it around him as hard as I could, and I knew that I had to stick it out. And thankfully, Justin also gave me a lane right there. He could have easily ran me off the track and screwed me, but he didn't. He gave me the perfect amount of run, and I feel like this is where I lost the race. I got up on the berm. I wasn't on the berm the whole entire night, and it just lost me so much speed, where if I would have just ran the middle line that I'd always been running, know that I had more speed than Justin because I was on the outside of the slider, so I had more momentum. I could have just ran the line exactly how I'd been running it the whole entire time, and I probably would have been fine, and then run the bottom in 1 and 2 for this lap, and then just bomb big old slider line going into the final corner, smack the curb like Justin did, come across the track, and yeah, we could have won, but that's not really how it played out. And I'm glad and I'm happy that I tried to rip the shit out of it on the last corner, because I was completely okay with a starter check, and I wanted the high limit win, so I was going to go for it. I really hope you guys enjoyed. This race was definitely a dream come true. For those of you that don't know, Justin helped me a lot on my race car and showed me a lot about these things a couple years ago. And if it weren't for him, if it weren't for everyone that honestly has came into my life, I've had a lot of great mentors and great people show me a lot with sprint cars, like my buddy Max, Lee Lindgren, Justin, Pombo, Robert. There's too many people to honestly think about or thank, but there's just been a lot of people who have influenced my decisions. Kevin, who have just helped shape me into who I am today, and I feel like my success is a product of everyone coming into my life and helping me out a lot. So I'm extremely grateful for all the help that everyone's given me over these years. It's been a really long journey, and if you would have told me last year, or a couple years ago for that matter, that I was going to be a high limit podium guy, especially maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I didn't make a single outlaw feature. I was trying to figure out if I had to go to tech. They also had to come and get me after our scales, because I was at my trailer having a beer, and I didn't know that you had to go to tech. See, as I was just saying, if you would have told me that I was a high limit podium guy, I would have never believed it in a million years. So I maybe would have dreamed about it, but I definitely dream about this stuff, and but I probably would have never believed it. So for it to actually come true, it's pretty surreal, and thank you guys for following along on the journey. I really appreciate it, and I had to go and congratulate Justin. I was pumped for him. I was genuinely pumped for Justin. After I spent like a couple weeks with him in his shop building bodies for him, and he was building shocks, I just know how much this shit means to him, and there's not a more deserving guy. He works really hard, so thank you guys for watching.